And since childhood, I used to get a lot of glimpses already in dreams and otherwise. Especially, it used to happen within 24 hours. I witnessed an earthquake once, and it happens the very next morning. And I also remember one more case that there was a lady who was not able to conceive through any means. When I say any means, naturally or medically. And we worked on her chakra, we worked on her overall cleansing, and there she was able to conceive with IVF. Earlier, her IVF were also getting failed back to back. Sometime a soul who used to worship a particular god, the presence of that god will start appearing into the healing. Lord Hanuman is being blessed that anybody who will worship any goddesses, I will come along. 2025 is definitely about worshipping Lord Hanuman the most. I was shocked last year that I was doing some financial support healing for a client. I started receiving messages from Lord Kuber level that even this is absolutely new for any channel or any podcast, that even spirit release can happen in your Akashic record and healings. And I have.
Hi, this is Akanksha. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. If you resonate with me, please like, comment, and share. Welcome to Multidimensional Soul podcast and a talk show. On this show, we talk about deep spiritual and mystical experiences of people which we normally shy away talking about. We are more than our physical body. We are spiritual beings on a human journey, and we discuss how a soul exists on multiple dimensions. We discuss science, technology, and spirituality point of views and perspectives on this show. Our purpose is to open our minds to limitless possibilities and our hearts to love and shine the light within bright. We have with us today Dr. Sunita Tang, who is an expert tarot card reader, healer, and an ICF coach. A very warm welcome, Sunita, on Multidimensional Soul Talk Show and Podcast. It's a privilege to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akansha. Coming from you, I felt like it is coming from home, and maybe there was an inner zeal to share so much on your channel. And congratulations for the place you have holded. Your channel with different kind of work people are doing, and you have tried your best to enlighten the world in the best possible way. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. For our viewers, I would like to say that both Sunita and I belong to a women entrepreneurs community, and that's why we have a special connection and a bond there. So,
True.
Sunita, can you tell us how you got into this journey of divination tools? It's not so common in India. Now it is becoming popular, but from Indian spirituality perspective, this was not so common. So, can you tell us how you ventured into this?
Yeah, that's a very interesting story and the real life example I would like to share. And before I proceed forward, yes, tarot came to me just by chance. I never thought of doing it. And when you say healer, I always believe in the presence of God, that we all are facilitators of healing modalities, because healing is done by only one God. So, while I was into my family planning, I was already married and I was looking forward to the family extension. I was facing a lot of challenges in the sense that I wanted to have a child, but there were certain, maybe the body was not fit. And in India, especially, people, when they guide you on having something, very important, prestigious into your life, be it your personal life or professional life, the environment was such that when you move into any such modality in India, especially, I'm talking about roughly 20 years back. My parents were also involved into my personal well-being and my family extension, so we were meeting a lot of people, including people from the doctor side and other spiritual sides as well. So one thing was very common that they were finding very less chance of family extension. And second, when my mother was meeting a lot of people, the focus was on creating, bhai within people. When I say bhai, it is fear. So, when you do this, this will happen. When you will do that, this will happen. And I was barely 26 years old that time. And since childhood, I used to get a lot of glimpses already in dreams and otherwise. And I discounted all that when I was a child because I never took it seriously. I thought it is happening by chance, or maybe I was not mature enough to understand the wisdom which was around those glimpses. So when I was walking on my own journey and I requested the divinity to help me without any kind of medical treatment, because I was very sure for the family extension, but I wanted to have it in a very peaceful and a natural way. And when I saw that a lot of people are creating fear in the mind, I decided to venture into my own meditation, spirituality, and healing myself. That was the point in 2007 that I ventured into tarot, I ventured into spirituality, and I ventured into healing space. And I tried few of my own modalities because in India, a lot of people still come when you talk about clients. A lot of people do come for their career, business expansions, new job, but then there are a lot of people who wanted to move on a journey of family extension, especially female. And this was very important for me, even to go on that journey. And I think I was blessed. Maybe that was the root of my healing. And there were, when I ventured into that, I witnessed there was a lot of root chakra blockages, sacral chakra blockages. So it was a journey of roughly 2 to 3 years. And then I completely moved into tarot readings and healing. And by that time in 2008, I founded Delhi Tarot because I was staying in Delhi and since beginning, and I moved into tarot. So I kept the name of my organization, Delhi Tarot. And today, I'm so humbled to share that Delhi Tarot is now across the globe. We have worked with all age groups, people across cultures. We have been incorporating healings, chakra healing, aura healing, and all this is being actually being supported by angelic healing. So there is a huge, huge hand of angels and the spirit guides, and especially the deities which you follow in your personal life or maybe from your childhood. And while you are doing that, especially for listeners who are so loyal to your channel, it is very important to even value your family traditional guides or spiritual guides or deities because that also counts as a huge, huge blessings. Since I was married, so I even, ensured that while I'm doing my healings or while I'm facilitating my healings, I'm keeping all these factors in mind. And I was definitely blessed with something which was not there in my astrological chart or in my hand palmistry, whatever you may say. And I am the live example of tarot and healing myself.
That's wonderful. And you mentioned that you have conducted sessions even in the corporates because corporates is typically left brained and logical, rational minded people. So conducting these angelic and tarot healings there is quite an accomplishment. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you.
When you mentioned that you used to get glimpses, can you tell us what kind of glimpses you used to get and what has been your most profound spiritual experience?
I clearly remember my glimpses actually because I used to see things clearly in dreams, especially it used to happen within 24 hours. I witnessed an earthquake once and it happens the very next morning. Second, I saw my own result paper in hand, and next day morning, I was shocked to see my result. In my times, there used to be a report card in India. And when I saw a sheet of my marks in my hand, I discounted that because I was aware that in school we used to get report card. But when I went to the school to collect my result, it was there on a sheet. And third, I remember I saw my father my father dead, and the very next morning he went through a heart attack and he was barely saved. So these three examples were enough, but I discounted all those things and I never paid attention to that, and I moved on to my journey. This is also very important, that in case you are witnessing any such experiences, if there is somebody to guide you who can nurture your spiritual wisdom, which is unleashing at that particular point, if you get that support during that time, it really matters a lot. However, I was very young, very small that time. When I saw my sheet, I was in class 11. When I saw an earthquake, I was in class 6th. And when I saw the episode related to my father, I was just a undergraduate student, but I never took it seriously. And I went on to my journey like a normal human being. It was then when people started creating fear around my personal life around 26, 27. So one day I heard somebody talking about abhaydan, and abhaydan is making people free from any kind of fear. And that was my main reason to come into tarot and related healings, that it is very important whosoever is approaching you for guidance, at least you are giving them support. You are bringing them out from any fear related to your past, present, or future. So that was my main purpose of moving into tarot and healings. So when I discounted that, I did not trusted that, and I didn't worked on my intuition that time, it vanished for few years, I should say. And the moment I was destined to move on that path, when I again joined back in 2006 and 7, all those things started coming up again. And many times, not just clients, but people who are passing by, people I watch on TV, anybody you may say, if something I can't disclose here on the channel, because I myself is still so shocked that how can I have received messages for people I am seeing on TV. They are they are entertainment people, big people, and I used to get information beforehand. So I want to thank my angels. Maybe when you continuously work on your clairs, on your chakras, and when you surrender completely into divine, when you're not related or feel powerful with the information, it flows naturally. So yes, years of practice do move into that.
Can you share some examples where you had this intuition or premonition earlier, apart from your personal life, where you could connect with the divine source? It can be angels, spirit guides, because there are a lot of misconceptions in India with regards to tarot reading. And people say that whatever is there in your subconscious will come in your reading. So if you have fear in your subconscious, that will be shown to you, kind of thing. So how can you give that clarity to people with great intuition, with the connection with the divine? So can you share those experiences where the spirit guides or angels actually guided you? So maybe you can see them, hear them, like whether you're clairvoyant, clairaudient. So can you explain those things for our viewers?
When you will start practicing any modality, and if you are practicing it regularly with complete surrender, I witnessed this change when, after just 4 to 5 years of practices, I even started getting to know the cards which are going to come on the table. And after 2 to 3 years, that also, I am now doing the reading just for people. The moment I start the reading for anyone, the messages starts pouring in. And trust me, the client, they don't even ask the question. And whatever angel message I start getting while they are sitting around me, whether they are sitting in person or whether they are online with me, because completely our work is now online across globe, immediately the messages start pouring in. And I now don't discount these messages. It has been roughly 7 to 8 years already. So once you will start working on a modality for a very, very long time, yes, peace of mind is very important. And you're absolutely right. If you are sitting for a reading in a state wherein you are fearful, or maybe you are too attached to the situation, So while the reader is attached to a situation of his or her own situation, maybe of friends or relatives, or maybe even if you are getting a client whose situation is resonating with your situation, trust me, you have to again go for your grounding. Maybe you can go for your detailed grounding or quick grounding as and when your time permits you to do that. But yes, it do matters the practice, the clarity of the reader, because tarot, the difference between tarot and the other modalities, be it astrology, be it palmistry, be it any kind of different therapy or numerology, tarot is 100% intuition based, and it majorly depends on the energy of the reader as well, that how much the reader is doing the reading with 100% non-judgmental, non-biased, and in a neutral state of mind. So yes, all these things do impact the reading. And while you are doing your grounding, and if you feel that you are not feeling from within to do a reading, you should take your own time, because as a reader, as a spiritual coach, your own settlement, your own settled energies is very, very important. And trust me, the stage will come when you will start getting to know what the cards are going to come. And the other level which I have experienced is that you will start getting the complete nuances of the situation with the client is coming. And now it has been many years that I'm just doing the reading for clients, because if they have come for a reading, they have to see their cards. But at this stage, yes, you get to know that which card is going to come and what is the real situation going on. So that's the whole scenario, but your own energy, your own intuition. And yes, people who are into readings or people who are into any kind of spiritual work, definitely trust me, one by one, every clear will get open. When I talk about myself now, this is for the first time I'm analyzing with you, because I have never analyzed to the stage where I am reaching, because I don't want to reach anywhere. I just want to be in a state of surrender. That's all. He has to decide where he has to take me. So if he is taking me to this podcast today, it is he has to decide. I just have to speak by his own, by his own blessings. So initially I started seeing things. Then later on, after a few years, I started knowing things. And then after a few years, I started feeling things. And later on, now, when I'm talking to anybody in the client, in the middle, I will hear something. It all depends, how much you are surrender. You are not demanding. You don't have a, desperate need or an urge for that. But he knows better that at what time what is going to get open. So first time maybe I am sitting with you, or I have analyzed that, okay, these stages I have already crossed. And now the stage is that, suddenly if there is a famous personality, I will know something, and after 3 to 4 days, I will hear something in news. But this I don't share and I don't say, because I don't want to come into limelight for all these things.
No, no, that's fine. It's just
Yeah.
from this perspective that people like to know that who all are helping us. So if you can share, like for example, whether it's Archangel Michael or any specific deity or spirit guide has guided you in a specific certain way, then people find some kind of assurance, one, and second, then they get some insights or intuition while listening to us as to what they need to do. So if you can share those experiences, and it's fine if you are not comfortable sharing the experiences of the celebrities per se, it's fine, we can skip that. If you are comfortable in sharing anything specific, please go ahead and share. But at least this, that your spiritual experience of connecting with certain guides, angels, or deities, or ascended masters, and how a specific instance kind of you connected with this and that helped you kind of. If you can share that, that would be really good.
I would definitely would love to share this in detail, because whatever is related to me directly and my clients, definitely I can share that, needless to say. Now because I belong to a Hindu family, and in our family, as we all know that we worship Lord Hanuman a lot, we worship Lord Lakshmi a lot, and then we worship Lord Shiva a lot. So these were few deities who were always very much, and Lord Ganesh also at various occasions. On every festival, that we start with Lord Ganpati. Now, I used to see my father, inclined towards Sai Baba a lot, but then we used to worship all deities, on various occasions. Like during Diwali, we used to worship Lord Ganpati a lot and Lord Goddess Lakshmi a lot. And apart from that, like any other Hindu family. But then in 2006, I started going to Sai Baba temple, and I'm extremely humbled and feel very peaceful from within. That since then till today, I visit temple every day, and I think my journey to spirituality has been the gift from his door. And for my clients, especially people who are going through any negative duration or negative energies around, I do work a lot with Goddess Kali. And people who I worship for, I heal for new opportunities, I work with Lord Surya a lot. When you say about angels, yes, in every healing, Archangel Michael, because Archangel Michael is the archangel for removing all negativity. So even I'm working with Goddess Kali, I first invoke Archangel Michael, but now is the stage that I don't have to spend much time in evoking because it is everyday process for me. And for healings, definitely I use lot of Gayatri mantra along with Archangel Raphael, and for working on relationships, patching up relationships, clearing out differences, bringing love, harmony, peace. I work with Archangel Kamiel a lot. And then for children, I work with Archangel Metatron a lot. So in my healing practice, I use maximum because all cases need some kind of cleansing and clearing from any energies, be it their own energy. If somebody is not thinking bad about you, or if somebody has not done bad about you, you have your own dark energies within. That's fear, depression, anger, sadness, demotivation. All these darker sides needs to be removed through Goddess Kali. So I clear the energies first in the presence of Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, and then I pour the full of energy light with Lord Surya a lot. So these are different, modalities I use, and people who are listening to this podcast, they can even use, them in daily life. And need less to say, in every, even if I'm breathing, I believe that I'm breathing because Sai Baba is with me. Or maybe he has chosen me, or maybe at when I was in 2006, I was 26 or 25. Maybe he helped me in remembering that maybe I owe my worship towards him, because this is not one life. If you are following one particular deity in your life, and suddenly you start going to him or her, with full confidence, trust, and surrender, that means there is some past life you must have been worshipping that particular deity. And as I shared earlier in the podcast, that I was married. So we ensured in all our family things that we remember the family Kuldevi for sure, because that is very, very important. Family traditions, because otherwise you will move into family constellations, you will move into four generational issues. So it is very important that you are seeking the blessing of your family traditional deity as well while you're working on your personal journey. And there is no harm into that. So I'm very particular about that. And these are all the deities that I seek help whenever I'm working.
Yeah, beautiful. So, can you share any specific example of one or two clients that you were healing, let's say blockages or the generational trauma or something like that? And so any particular either archangel or deity or ascended master helped you and gave you messages, whether it's physical ailment or financial troubles or relationship? Can you share one or two
examples of your clients?
Why not? There are so many examples. Now, I clearly remember one particular case wherein a lady was working in a government job, and she was shifted to some very far off location. And it was, I clearly remember the year, it was 2012, that lady was shifted to her own choice of branch without any papers. And that happened first time in the history of that bank, that without papers, without official orders, you were shifted. So when I worked on that particular case, yes, it was a lot of blockages which were coming in between her shift from one place to another. And as I shared earlier with you, that it was not workplace politics. It was just that the place was not vacant for that lady to shift. And when she got shifted, she told me clearly on phone that they have told me to shift without papers. They will create a space for her. And before that, I started doing reading and healings with my tarot cards. Not just reading, but I started incorporating tarot cards in healing. So I created, some tarot card combinations. We created the space for her. She was shifted in person, and the papers came later. And I also remember one more case, that there was a lady who was not able to conceive through any means. When I say any means, naturally or medically. And we worked on her chakra, we worked on her overall cleansing, and there she was able to conceive with IVF. Earlier, her IVF were also getting failed back to back. So there are many cases, but when we talk about, generationals, yes, I use Akashic record reading as well into that, because many times I remember a child just 5 to 6 years old, and she was having a lot of cramps since childhood, lot of such habits that, it was even a shock for the family, that why the child is not so, so particular about her own hygiene, not taking bath, not going to the washroom. So we did a lot of work around her Akashic record readings, and then there were a lot of other energies which were attached to it, and we pulled out the energy, because to a child we cannot do therapies just like that. So in her Akashic record reading, we had a blend of that reading, we used our healings, we used tarot cards, and then we just spoke to the child after the healing is being done. So even a lot of modalities are being done when we are doing Akashic healing and readings as well. So there also, on the channel, I would like to say that this is known as spirit release. If you feel that your own past life fragment is attached to you, or some external energy is attached to you, so the work which I am facilitating these days has gone actually up to that level, that even this is absolutely new for any channel or any podcast, that even spirit release can happen in your Akashic record and healings. And I have done it myself with the presence of God. And yes, while you are actually doing healing for a child, we invite all the soul fragments of all the lives, and we say that, okay, all the spiritual angels or guardian angels who were there with this particular soul may come and appear. And trust me, sometime a soul who used to worship a particular god, the presence of that god will start appearing into the healing. This was also very new for me. So maybe I'm telling it to you today, right now, but it is happening with me from past many years now. So suddenly, if a child is worshipping, say, Lord Rama, or if a child is worshipping a particular goddesses, suddenly that goddesses will appear into the healing. And then we request them to share the messages, and we incorporate their mantras, and then we do the healing. So if you have worshipped any god, any particular angel, or any deity in any of your life, trust me, when the blockages will get open for healing, they will 100% appear into your therapy. Needless to say, whether it is your spiritual therapy, or whether you are on your, in your OT on your table, they will appear for their healing and, for your well-being, for sure. So even this has started happening with me. And I remember that, I was shocked last year that I was doing some financial support healing for a client. And for the first time, and I shared with that client that this has never happened with me, I started receiving messages from Lord Kuber. And this was actually a very shocking, revelation for me. And, when I see unusual gods with whom I have not worked, or maybe I have not heard their mantra specifically. Okay, I'm aware about their presence very much. I'm aware, being from Hindu family, I'm aware that, okay, there are so many god and goddesses. But when they appear suddenly in the process for that client, then I sit for some time. I give a pause to the healing. I thank for their presence and I seek their help that, okay, now you have come, you tell me which way we are supposed to go. And then they guide, okay, pick up this mantra, pick up this particular mantra, tell the client to do that. And to every client, whenever we do healing, angelic healing or angelic cleansing, we get different messages for all clients. All clients get different messages as per their soul journey. So, yes, some common mantra we pick up definitely with whom we are working or we would like to work. Now, just to give you an example, 2025 was approaching, everybody was knowing that because it is ruled by number 9 and number 9 belongs to Mars. And yes, Lord Hanuman plays a very important role into that. And suddenly I started using lot of Hanuman mantras, Chalisa, Bajrang Ban in mid of 2024. So when you start working any goddesses more, Lord Hanuman is being blessed that anybody who will worship any goddesses, I will come along. And I was not aware about that. And I started worshipping Lord Goddess Kali since many years for my clients. And immediately I found myself that every day at the end, I'm listening to some or the other, thing from Lord Hanuman. And later on, I read somewhere that God Hanuman is being blessed that when you will worship any goddesses, I will come after her for sure in your worship or healing path. So this has played a very important role for my own self healing and self journey. Now, people, yes, who are listening to this particular podcast, 2025 is definitely about worshipping Lord Hanuman the most for your health, for clearing up your obstacle, your challenges, and your blockages, and any kind of support you need, especially in health as well. And he is also blessed with, with all all kind of blessings, whether it is wisdom, knowledge, you want to take a leap into anything, you want to venture into anything. Yes, this is the year wherein it is guided that you must worship Lord Hanuman for sure. And yes, if I am into this particular kind of work, as plotted by God, I have to give at least roughly 2 to 3 hours every day to the meditation.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's really powerful. This is new information to me that
Yeah.
whenever
And
you
there is one more information, and which is happening with me these days, and which have just started 15 to 20 days back. The moment I have not so positive thought in my mind, which is very much possible because we all are human.
yeah,
I understand the intensity is not there of the, of not so positive thought, or the duration is also very less. Because when you will work on this journey, the intensity of not so good things and the duration will keep on shorten up. Because earlier things used to bother for, let's say, 6 months or a year, then it get reduced to months, then weeks, then days, then a day, maybe few hours, and then to few minutes, and then for few seconds. For the past few days, I'm sensing that the moment any not so positive thought I am thinking, I start getting burning here, and I start getting burning on my hands. So these are my signals to know that, immediately I get to know that I have to shift my thought, and I do like this. I shed that energy like this, and I concentrate back on my work. This is new for me.
yeah, that is aura cleansing. It is a Reiki technique actually.
Yeah, but I have never done Reiki.
Okay.
So, I have done things before and then I have gone through the theory part. This has also happened with me that, if this is Reiki, you are telling me this is Reiki, but I have never done it.
That's a Reiki technique actually. I have
So,
Reiki, so
so I have done things before and then I have learned about it more. It's other way around. I think it's a reverse which is happening with me.
that's nice. Yeah, this is the first time I got to know that Hanumanji gives blessings when you worship any goddess also.
Yes, I got to know this in February and March 2024. Because see, for I still work with goddess Kali a lot. Who am I? Maybe she wants me to go on that particular path, and it is for hours on daily basis. And I started shifting to Lord Hanuman simultaneously. And yes, I'm very well aware about his presence since my childhood, being from Hindu family. But then I never used to give specific duration or my meditation time to Lord Hanuman. But I started doing that, and roughly around mid of 2024, August September, I read it a very detailed article on that he is blessed that when you will worship any, but then the level of worship or the intensity has to be decided by the power up. We are nobody. I was not aware. I was now here also. I started worshipping Lord Hanuman specifically, and I whenever client used to come, I used to guide them for Hanuman Chalisa, and even I check that okay, if you're giving me any signal, I must receive your blessings on its own, and this is my way of checking myself. And I was called for Neem Karoli Baba, and I never heard about him. And I visited Neem Karoli Baba last year,
I did
and
too, yeah.
and I okay, I have heard about him, but I never thought of visiting. I never planned for the visit, but when we went to some place and there it was there his temple near Jim Corbett. So I was not planning. I never thought about it, but I requested that okay, if I'm on the right track or if it is not my own guess, I need to have some signals. And the moment I was working on my own self for this, one day I requested that okay, I want you to come. Let me see how you are coming. And when I went to temple, I got two posters including his picture. I got my answer. So these are my simple, childish way, you may say, while I am checking myself in my own meditation. And this is the way that, when something very different happens with me. So this is, I counted and I surrender as a child. Trust me, when I play with these things, that okay, if I'm on the right path, you need to give me a signal. Tell me how you're coming. So I completely, I'm very happy and very peaceful when I am on my wish to play around my own intentions or intuitions or senses in a very complete surrendered way, though not with complete trust and surrender.
Absolutely. And when the childlike play, the intuition gets stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
And this is the way actually universe communicates. So I completely resonate with you because I also get guidance in similar ways. And I also ask the universe to give me signs. And then either the universe or my son, who is now in the spirit world, or ascended masters with whom I connect. So I can completely resonate with you. A couple of things that came to my mind. One is that you talked about 2025 being the year of Mars, and we should therefore pray to Hanumanji. So, is there any specific mantra that you want to give to our viewers?
Hmm. See, one must go through Hanuman Chalisa for sure. And if you want to target something very specific, because I'm blending spirituality with little practicality here, because we are in the world, materialistic world, And somewhere down the line, the balance between spirituality and practicality is very important. The blend is very important. So if you want to target something very specific, a specific job, a specific, say anything related to materialistic world, a specific project, a contract, something very specific, you may seek help from Bajrang Baan. Very well available on YouTube. Now, when you are typing Bajrang Baan, when you are typing Hanuman Chalisa, then there is Sundarkand path also, which is, I will not recommend it as of now, because it will give you overall peace more. So yes, Hanuman Chalisa is for your overall well-being, your mental, emotional, your physical, your financial well-being, and also the enhancement in your wisdom and knowledge. That is Hanumanji. So overall, if you want that, okay, the year should go well, everything should be in perfect blend, and everything should, move up, the quality should move up. Overall, Hanuman Chalisa at least 7 times or 11 times, depending upon your time, your feasibility, is highly recommended. However, if you want to target something very specific, then Bajrang Baan can definitely be the best choice to seek your help. So overall, if you are working for your overall protection, you may complement it with Gayatri Mantra if you wish to, or if you feel that you're getting too down, you're not getting the energy from within, or you are being surrounded by a lot of negative talks or company of people or not so encouraging environment, you may seek blessings from goddess Kali as well to remove the negativity. But yes, in 2025 you may do something, anything you may pick, but I would definitely recommend specifically Lord Hanuman for 2025 for sure.
So you were suggesting that we chant daily 7 times Hanuman Chalisa?
7 to 11 times, but that depends on your willingness to do that. If you're playing it just like that, it's getting played on internet, you're not around, you're not listening, it is not going to serve any purpose for you. Now, there is also a possibility, whenever I recommend this to my client, I always say that you will have 10,000 version of this particular mantra on internet. Please sit down with yourself in the evening or morning, whenever you feel you have some time, listen to at least 10 to 15 versions, and then feel that, okay, this version is resonating with me the most. And I have recently shifted to Ras Raj meditation, Hanuman Chalisa, just recently, because you will have a lot of versions of Hanuman Chalisa on internet. Recently, I found this version to be very soothing.
Hey, thank you for sharing that.
You must listen to his Hanuman Chalisa or Bajrang Baan. He will, it now that how it makes the difference. His own presence, his own energy makes the difference with same Hanuman Chalisa. So the energy of the singer, the energy of the person who is reading or reciting that holds a very important or a main role into any kind of thing. You have to be very clear.
That's true. That's true. Also, your vibration, and you need to resonate with that person, whoever is singing that. Alternatively, you can always use books and
Yes.
read it yourself.
So it depends, because more than reading, somebody likes hearing and reciting. So when you are doing these things, it is also written there. So maybe, you may do that. And, while you are in 2025 and you're already reciting Lord Hanuman, and, a very simple cleansing technique on daily basis, when you're lighting a candle or diya, just keep looking into that flame, close your eyes and allow the mantra to heal you completely. Surrender. Don't tell what you want. Don't tell what you want to let go. Don't tell what you want to replace within yourself. Just play, see that candle, keep closing your eyes, and tell, I'm now open and surrendered for my healing. Any healing will happen for sure. Be there. He knows the best that, yes, what needs to be healed. Trust me, it will happen.
Yeah. Can you tell us the difference between tarot cards, oracle cards, and angel cards? And for the beginners, how should they choose?
Now, this is a very interesting and a very important aspect. People who are into tarot reading or who are approaching the readers for any kind of guidance. See, tarot is definitely a very structured form because every good tarot deck will have 78 cards only, 22 major and rest minor arcana cards. So, yes, people who are coming for future guidance, people who want to know something about recent past, present, or future, or people who want to make any important, relevant decision making and they want clarity, immediate clarity on what they should do in order to make a decision or they should prefer, or knowing the detail about a situation, tarot is recommended 100%. Now, when you talk about angels and oracle, angels are also the oracle cards. Now, oracle has lot of themes. If you specifically need support, guidance, a comfort, you may use the angel cards, which are definitely under oracle cards. Now, if I want to have specific messages for energy, for love, for career, for romance, then I have specific oracle cards. So oracle cards needs little bit of intuitive energy to understand the meaning of the message which is coming out of the card. Whereas angel cards are also a kind of oracle card, which only and only will give you specific, direct angel message. So it's a spiritual guidance for you. For example, I have not taken out cards by any purpose, but there are few lying on my table. Now these are also oracle card, but these are energy oracle card. Okay, what energies are surrounding? And I have a deck which is known as Soul Journey card. Now, this is again an oracle card. Okay, what your soul is trying to tell you. So these are oracle decks, but theme based. Under the oracle card category, I have my angel answers deck, which will only give you angel answers. So the difference is that oracle has different themes. I have romance cards also. I have oracle career card also. On my table, I have moonology deck also. Now, moonology will give you detailed one-liner, but you need to understand the meaning behind and beneath those lines. And you have to sit with your intuition and your inner self to understand what the situation is trying to tell. But if you want immediate, on the spot guidance and comfort from angels, pick up the angel answers deck, a type of oracle. So that's the broader meaning. But yes, especially people who approach readers for healing and for reading, I primarily recommend only and only tarot cards. Across the globe, people begin with Rider-Waite because that was the first origin, and all are actually branches of Rider-Waite only. So for beginners, I do recommend that you may start from any angel or oracle, but if you want to work in depth into tarot readings for self and others, yes, you have to follow the traditional tarot deck, which is very detailed, very complex. And just for people's information, all healings, we do it via tarot card deck only and major arcana cards primarily, and few minor arcana cards as well. So if you want, because you also wanted to have a little demo. So while talking to you, I have multiple tarot decks with me, but I have pulled few major arcana cards into, from my deck. Now, I'm giving you a very important real life example. When I started working on healing, people who are on family planning, people who wanted to conceive, must work with Empress, because Empress is for growth, is fertility, and I added Empress with Sun, because Sun is clarity on my journey. I was not finding clarity. And the sun in traditional decks also hold a baby. So you may combine these two cards if you're working on self-healing, if you're working on your intentions to conceive and family extensions. Now, people who only want to, for example, they want to enhance the growth of their business expansion, or they want good kind of, fertility, into the sense that the thing should grow. They must work with Empress card for sure into your healings. And people who want clarity over politics, over gossips, over mess up situation or a chaotic situation, they want clarity. They want complete transparency, must work with Sun card for sure. Now, if you feel that your energies are scattered and you're not able to focus, but you want to move forward, so to bring positive forward movement, positive, focused, determined movement, you must work with Charity. And if you feel that you want more option, you're happy, but still, okay, you are into something great, but you still want more options, you must work with the Lovers. It is primarily, it is, associated with love and relationship in your life, but it's a very important major arcana card to tell that there are choices, options, opportunities available, multiple. So these are few cards which I have pulled out now. There is also a World card, and if you want to bring closure to something, you must work with the World card. And what I added into my healing, that the current chapter, if it is bothering, it must come to a natural ending. Plus, I accompanied that card with the Wheel of Fortune, that okay, the chapter completes and then the situation also changes. So while you're doing this, what you need, definitely a candle, clear intentions, one goal, and the name of the person. Clear intention, one clear goal. You please decide that, okay, I have multiple goals, but I want to focus. You can't do one meditation in the morning, another in the evening, then next day you are doing another. Please sit with yourself that, okay, first I want this as my priority. Set your intentions clearly. And you need to have, now even if you're doing for yourself, you may write your name on a piece of a paper, you may write the name of your client while you're working with the intentions, you're working with these cards, you're working with candle. Now you are using herbs, you're using different color of candle, which card you are using is all behind your intentions. If your intentions are clear, neutral, surrendered way, trust me, these things are just a pinch of addition into your work. And yes, we use, in order to remove negativity, we use black candle. To bring love, we use or harmony, we use pink. To bring fire between couples, we use red. To bring opportunities, we use yellow and orange. But trust me, I only use normal white candles. If I'm available with black, I use that for cleansing. But if I'm done, if I only have white with me, I'm done. So the colors, the herbs, your, everything is different, but your intentions should be very, very focused. And while you're doing healing, don't be so specific. I want change in this form only, or in this format only, or in this way. Please surrender the way it is coming to you from divine. That's very important.
Yeah. So when you're doing the healing, do you chant any mantras, invoke anything, and how long do you sit? Let's say if our readers, let's say if our viewers want to do the healing on their own self, and they take the card and they sit with the candle and the intention, do they have to sit in meditation? Do they have to chant? Can you just explain that?
Yes. So while you're starting the process, yes, I understand that you can't do it for timeless period. Every day it is recommended that you must sit for 30 to 40 to 45 minutes minimum, if you can. Now, coming to your next question, how long I sit? I sit for a one reading in one day for one client for from 30 to 1 hour also. Sometime if there is a spirit release or if there are multiple issues coming in a client, it also takes 1 hour. And in that 1 hour, I use my candle. I write the name of the person. I sit with my cards, and in that moment, I decide which mantra I have to start playing and which card I have to bring from my deck in order to start the healing. And I create my own combinations at that particular time. And yes, the same set is being repeated for 7 to 11 days in the first set of healing. If the client says, I'm seeing the improvement and we see the improvement, we prefer repeating the same set after a month. But if a client comes with a chronic health situation or a financial situation or say a job which is in crisis, we repeat the same set of healing immediately after 15 days also. And once the client starts showing results and improvement, we reduce from 11 days to 7 days to minimum 3 days. This is the way we practice with each and every client. Plus, if you are doing your own self healing, it is recommended that you first sit for few days. When I say few days, not just 2 3 days, at least for 15 20 days to a month, and start working on your first peace of mind, that what is it which is bothering me at the moment, how I can help myself in letting that go. Please make yourself empty for you to make the space for new. Because even if you're requesting for something new ad hocly, and if you want immediate results, you have not cleared up your space to make the space for new. So while you're sitting, while you're starting your own meditation, any simple candle with any mantra of your choice. If you want protection, you may use Hanuman Chalisa, you may use Gayatri Mantra. If you're feeling negativity, you may do Goddess Kali Mantra. But Goddess Kali Mantra is very powerful mantra. It is not recommended somebody coming immediately into meditation and doing Goddess Kali. So please start with Gayatri Mantra. And since this is Lord Hanuman year, a simple Ram Naam 5 minutes, 10 15 minutes initial meditation will make a massive, huge, unbelievable difference to your health. Sit quietly, do Ram Naam Jap for 10 15 minutes or a simple Om, and then shift to a mantra. And do it for first 15 20 days to a month. Make yourself calm, compose, and peace, and then decide, okay, these 3 things I want to work into my life. It could be relationship, it could be your soul journey, it could be anything related to your materialistic world, your finances. Please work out on your priority. While you're doing that, don't judge yourself to be right or wrong. You know what is your priority, and that is okay. Nobody is going to punish you or hold you accountable for what you are liking and what you want in the moment. Be very open with yourself. And if I'm working on my financial growth, okay, what is it I need to release from myself? Is it fear? Is it stubbornness? Is it rigidness? Or I want to be more open, more flexible, more expressive? What you need to let go, you know. Sit, or if you are not able to know or guess it, work with a spiritual coach. So cleansing, aura cleansing, chakra cleansing is very important. If you are not aware of any of these modalities, just simply sit with any mantra starting with Ram Nam Jap, then any other mantra which you may like, I have mentioned, or you may choose of your own choice, and then start working on yourself. It is very simple and you will be guided for sure.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It has been such a pleasure and privilege to have you here, Sunita. Thank you so much. Lovely having you here.
Pleasure is absolutely mine. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the very best and a very happy 2025. and keep worshipping Lord Hanuman. And needless to say, I myself is doing it on daily basis. Trust me, it is going to change the situation for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure that all who are watching this talk show or podcast and listening to this will benefit from this, and wishing everyone a happy 2025.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching and listening in wherever you are in the world. As Ramdas says, that we all are just walking each other home. So thank you for co-creating the new earth along with me and our guests. And if you resonate with me, do subscribe to my channel and do let us know how you find our episodes. Thank you so much. Lots of love.